If there's an episode that can truly leave you with a profound emotional impact, it's this episode of Futurama. No matter the age, all of us who watch and even rewatch the episode were left devastated, cementing itself as one of the most heartbreaking and impactful pieces of television ever made. The episode starts with Bender practicing some magic tricks, spilling milk while Fry is wearing a revealing and tight dress. Yeah, basically the average hangout with your bro. Fry suddenly spots a newspaper that claims people found a 20th century pizzeria, just like the one he used to work at. So they agreed to visit.
You lived before you met me?
Sure, lots of people did.
Really?
Inside the museum, they show how spanking the delivery boy was part of a healthy working environment, when suddenly Fry finds out it is actually Panucci's, the exact same pizzeria he used to work before he was frozen in time.
Lady, this was not just used to paddle my butt. It was also used to move pizzas and crush rats.
He corrects the guide lady, but the woman tells him his sources are incorrect as she gets her facts from a soap opera. Oh yes, an intellectual in the subject.
Don't wave your fancy degrees at me.
And here's where the tragic events start for us, the audience. Fry finds the fossilized remains of his dog. We are suddenly transported back to 1997. We see Fry delivering some pizza to Seymour Asses, which guess what? To surprise of absolutely nobody, he doesn't exist. With nothing else to do, he eats pizza in an alley. A mangy dog approaches him, so Fry gives him some food and names him Seymour, making the beginning of this special bond. Fry says goodbye, telling him to live a long and prosperous life. But Seymour, feeling a little sad, refuses to let him go and follows him. The loyalty and selfless affection of a dog is one of the most tender forms of love there can be. That's why this episode caused such a cultural impact beyond just television, because the episode serves as a reminder of the profound relationships humans share with animals, making us appreciate our pets and the unconditional love they provide. Just look at my cat Jordan. He's probably more handsome than your pet. Back to the future, Fry can't stand seeing his mascot exhibit, so he uses Bender to break the glass and escape with him. And of course, that plan is a failure. They tell the rest of the crew how that mess went, to which the professor proposes a protest, doing a traditional dance of his tribe. So we go back in time again. Fry and Seymour both sing I'm Walking on Sunshine.
I'm walking on sunshine. Oh, oh, oh.
Seymour is always waiting outside the pizzeria. Basically, he waits for him every time Fry goes to deliver pizza. Yeah, I'm sure there's nothing bad about this dynamic, right? He has also won the affection of the boss and looks pretty happy. He's basically the mascot of the restaurant. A lavish restaurant that maintains the highest standards of health and cleanliness.
2 things at one time. Eat and swim. Ooh, 3 things.
It's been 3 days of Fry shaking the bones and still hasn't achieved anything. Suddenly, the paleontologists who discovered Seymour say they can't give him the fossil back because he will teach them a lot from the dogs from his time. To which Fry begins to describe him. Seymour made sweet love to a saxophonist's leg. He smelled like a wet dog, even when dry. Oh, wow, so same as Marvel Rivals players. That was all the info they needed. So they give the fossil back to him. Meanwhile, Bender continues practicing his magic acts with a substitute assistant who doesn't look as sexy as Fry. I mean, big enough for revealing the trick. Upon arriving with the puppy, Bender suggests a trash can for him to put him. They are informed that he was fast fossilized, preserving his cellular structure. All that means he can be cloned. So Fry will have his best friend back, which leaves the magic robot sad. Since we are in the future and we have advanced technology, they can revive the dog with his memories included. Oh nice, AI is truly magic.
The dog says...
Fry couldn't be more happy, and the robot couldn't be more jealous. Seymour will remember how to sing Walking on Sunshine, a song that wasn't chosen at random, because it reflects the relationship and the feelings of Fry and Seymour. They feel good walking next to each other, their connection and love was true from the day they met. Even there's a phrase that says, reflecting how Seymour wanted Fry to come back every day. The thing is that when they tried to change the mode, an error was found. Then we go to a flashback to December 31st, 1999, which is the day Fry's adventure started. As always, he has been a productive young man. The little kid tells him he's a loser, which is not new. and his boss tells him to go and deliver a pizza, not before also making him feel bad, and how he is and will be a delivery boy this and next millennium. Seymour has a bad feeling and he tries to stop him again and again. However, Fry tells him this.
I won't be gone long, Seymour. Just wait here till I come back.
I think the biggest reason this episode strikes such an emotional core is how Seymour's endless patience speaks to the emotional reality of dogs, who live in the present but form the bonds that transcend time, unlike humans who might rationalize loss and eventually move on. Seymour simply waits, driven by pure and unbreakable attachment. This unflinching devotion is what makes his story so universally heartbreaking, because on some level we all wish for a love so strong. He leaves to make the delivery and enters the applied cryogenics room to give the pizza to Icy Winner. Bro was victim of another prank, and right on New Year's. He drops the pizza on the desk, he toasts another miserable millennium, everyone is counting down the new year, Simon looks worried, and he falls on his back getting frozen for 1,000 years, leaving Seymour worried about his return. Back to the future, or present, whatever, Fry has bought things to receive his friend, and Bender is absolutely jealous and upset because he thinks this bromance is in danger. If you ever wonder what happened after receiving the new year, well, here's the answer. Fry's family tries to contact him, not because they are worried, because he is delayed New Year's lunch. Suddenly, Seymour arrives. He's visibly quite worried. He does everything to get their attention.
What's that, Seymour? You walking on sunshine?
Unfortunately, they ignore him and start eating their pathetic sandwiches. In the present, we are welcomed with a wonderful view of Amy and Layla wrestling half naked. I mean, as a male, I can't help my instincts, so I'm not mad. But given the episode, it's funny how anticlimactic this is. But still, Fry's making space for his dog's bed. He's so focused that he has no time for his sexual desires, much less to Bender and his new AI pet. He can take it for a walk as long as it refills the tank, and also has the function of licking the cheek. Wow, that's nice, I guess? Who needs real affection anyway? At that moment, the professor gives them the announcement that the machine is ready, and Leela breaks Amy's neck, and the robot starts a yipping session. The professor presents again the powerful machine. It requires so much energy that they must use the energy of nature itself, referring to the molten lava deep within Earth's core. So they go down to the sub-basement with the help of a low-pay immigrant. Some things never change, huh? The fossil is placed on the platform to start the process of extracting the cells. However, Bender arrives to interrupt, because it's time for the talent show which he has practiced so much. The thing is, Fry is kinda in the middle of something, so suddenly the scrap metal being takes the fossil and throws it into the lava, because the best way to make someone love you again is killing his best friend. It always works.
I hate you, you evil metal man! Ow!
Good thing not everything is lost. The professor explains that fossil could survive a few more minutes because of the material so strong that it does not fail with the heat. Without thinking twice, Fry runs to throw himself for his dear best friend, because he's sure he would have done the same thing. And he is right. Now we see Seymour going through the entire city in search of Fry. The emotional part comes from the tragedy of unspoken goodbyes. Fry never intended to abandon Seymour. It was simply an accident of fate. This idea resonates so deeply with people who have experienced loss, especially those who have lost someone suddenly without the chance to say goodbye. Finally, Seymour reached the applied cryogenic, and Fry was not allowed to sacrifice himself for his friend. With tears, he says goodbye, and Bender, noticing that he really loves the dog, and this wasn't again to make him jealous, he decides to jump in.
Understood how someone can love an inferior creature, because I love you.
This is the message the episode has been showing us. The love for a pet is just as important and valuable as the love for a loved one, brother or friend. During this episode, Bender represents people who do not come to understand or accept that we can come to love a pet more than a person. There's a slim chance that he could resist saving Seymour, which in the past continued the search, and he actually found his best friend. He barked next to him for hours, and the hangover manager who solves all his problems by freezing them, he even froze his wife. The Fry family arrives for the dog. They were late because they were sick of eating those stupid sandwiches. They ignored all the signals that Seymour was giving them, and the absolute idiots don't notice that the redhead was in front of them, and despite his desperation, they took him away. They feel worried about Bender. He has taken too long.
I'm going in after him.
Now Fry regrets letting his best friend sacrificed, but just at that moment Bender recovered the fossil, so the cloning process is resumed. And here we have the most emotional part of this episode, since it would be discovered that Seymour lived till the advanced age of 15 years. He lived 12 more years after Fry got frozen. So he decides to stop the cloning, not by unplugging the machine, but by destroying it. He thinks that his beloved dog had had a long and full life after his disappearance. Maybe he added new songs to his repertoire.
That's a good thing. Walking on sunshine sucks noodles.
Fry would never forget him, but Seymour forgot him a long time ago. Which is a lie. The decision Fry makes to not revive Seymour feels so tragic. While Fry believes he's doing the right thing, we all know he's misjudging the situation. It also reflects a harsh truth about human decision making. Sometimes we protect ourselves from pain, avoiding it altogether, even when the alternative could have led to a more fulfilling resolution. On January 2nd, 2000, Seymour waited for his friend, just as he had asked when he left for his delivery. Fry, being frozen, was clueless of how time moved on without him, while we see years tick by in Seymour's life, making the passage of time feel tangible and cruel. While Fry enjoys life into the future, leaving behind everything he once knew, Seymour's existence serves as a tragic reminder of what was lost. The episode's finale montage, depicting Seymour slowly aging, makes this point clear. Time does not pause for anyone, and loss is often permanent. The haunting imagery of Seymour waiting through the seasons as life around changes reinforces a painful truth. Time erases everything except the tragedy of love. But the episode still reminds us that love is an enduring and beautiful thing, no matter how heartbreaking it might be. It perfectly depicts of something truly universal, the pain of waiting for someone who will never return. The final scene is Seymour finally closing his eyes, leaving for the afterlife without being able to see his best friend once again.